Single back is Gibbs. Goff turn, gives it to Jameer, to the end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions. That's the way you make a statement on the road on Monday night to start a football game, straight down the field to the end zone. It is 2nd and goal from the 1. Goff out of the gun, hands it to Montgomery, tries the left side, did not get in. It's going to be 3rd and goal from inside the 1. They say he did get in. Late call. There it is. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Better late than never. Out of the gun. Jackson's got it. Running to his right. Wants to throw. Now being pressured. Ball's loose on the ground. It is recovered by Jackson, but it does not matter. That's Lions football. A 4th down stop by this team. Jackson tried to roll out, had a run-pass option, and Jack Campbell was there to knock that ball loose. That is a big-time stop by that defense. Lions show 4 across the front. There's the snap. Jackson back, looking right. Pressure comes. Jackson still looking. Stepping up. Gonna get hit. Gonna go down. Al-Quadin Mohammed got him. Goff out of the gun. Montgomery to his right. Jared's got it back and looking, throwing right side. Wants Amon-Ra. End zone. Got it. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. What a delivery that time by Goff, where only Amon-Ra with those late hands could pull it in. And the Lions are an extra point away from drawing even once again here in Baltimore. Pressured by Hutchinson, he goes down again.
All right, big win for your Detroit Lions against the Cincinnati Bengals away on the road. How did they do? Well, as you guys know, I was not able to be at the game, and I was able to catch most of the game while I was at a wedding for one of Megan's friends. So I did not catch everything, but what I did catch, I do have some things to talk about. So I don't have my full notes as I usually do, but we're going to go around the world here and see what everyone else is talking about. Throughout the game, I put a couple of messages out there. There's a few things that I saw, a few plays that I noticed that I was not happy about, to be honest. And there were some things that happened in this game that I said prior to the game was going to happen, and it happened. Things that we just can't dismiss. I know that we are so high on this team, and we should be riding high right now at 4-1, atop the NFC North, winning without DJ Reed in the game and winning. But while guys are injured, we're finding ways to step up. Taylor Decker takes a step back. Giovanni Manu takes a step in. We don't have the grades. I don't have all the snap counts yet, but we will sometime tomorrow. Hopefully by the morning show, I'll be able to give this a good once over. I do plan on watching the game back tonight, so I will stay up late and rewatch the game tonight. But before we get rolling, man, I just got to say a quick hello and shout out to everybody in the chat. Once I can get that back open. Hope you guys all enjoyed your Sunday watching the Detroit Lions win once again. I did see that there was some hot takes about Terry and Arnold throughout the game. You know who you are. You know who you are. And look, I can't comment on all of that. You know, I can't because I wasn't able to watch it all. But quick shout outs to everybody in the chat tonight. Once again, who we have in here? Sam Mathangi, Bees9, Todd Budry, Trace, of course, always in the house. Attila the Hun, Jay Cruzen, Robert Cook's in the house. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Glad to see you back in here. Who else is in here tonight? Ornery U of M Dad. Buck, man. How's it going, Buck? You got a big game this Saturday. Big game. Giant game. Giant game. But anyway, let's dig right in and let's dig our heels deep and talk about, well, what did you guys see, right? I want to know what you guys saw. Let's do a little bit of gripes and hype right now. Fill up the chat for me with the gripes of this game, the things that you noticed that you did not like. Let's talk about it. And then the things that went extremely well, the things that you did like that maybe you were surprised on. First poll question of the night. Since I was not able to watch every snap, I've got a poll, and it is this simple. How did Giovanni Manu do? How did he do in your eyes? Did he do okay? Great? Good? Serviceable? Or bad? We'll do okay, great, serviceable, or bad. There's kind of real no in-betweens there. I guess serviceable would be your, he did all right. Good would be not bad for a guy that hasn't played really before in a live game with this much on the line. Serviceable would be about the lowest I would probably give him anyway, because I think he only let up one sack, maybe, if I'm right. Again, I'll have to figure that out later on tonight. So tell me how Giovanni Manu did. And I did notice a few things, but I want to start with this. First and foremost, man, we are the new no-fly zone. We started this a couple of seasons ago. Kirby Joseph has been playing out of his freaking mind. Just out of his... To be in the same league as Ed Reed is incredible. And the fact that he's doing it again this year at the rate that he's doing it is just... It's mind-blowing how good he's playing, how opportunistic he is. And I would say that about this defense right now, is that they're playing more opportunistic, if anything. I think that we're still missing some pretty big pieces, meaning, well, maybe not the pieces, but the plays. Like, the big plays have not just come together in waves yet. We had a really good game against the Ravens. But that type of defense is what we should have seen the last two games. So I am a little bit worried about the pass rush from that perspective. And tonight, I mentioned this in Friday's show, I think it was, or maybe it was in one of my other videos. And I didn't get keys out, by the way. It's sitting here recorded. I didn't release it. I screwed up. So one of my biggest concerns over this game was Aiden and the long arms of Amarius Mims and Orlando Brown, and how is he going to be able to handle that? Were they going to chip him, double him, triple him? What were they going to do to Aiden in this game? And again, I'm going to have to defer to the film because I haven't seen every snap, but some of the snaps that I did see didn't go his way. So I want to talk about that. But back to Kirby, man. What did he get? One tonight? One interception? And he stole it from Terry and Arnold. I watched that play live. That play I did see. That was TA's first interception all the way in, and then here comes Kirby right in front of him and just steals it out of the air. I mean, I'm glad someone came up with it, but that was TA's all day. And had TA had that interception, how much of your perception is changed on TA right now? What is the national media going to be saying right now today had Terry and Arnold pulled that one out of the sky? Now, it was a gimme, right? I don't know what Browning was doing. That was very similar to the golf interception that he threw at J-Mo, where he just lofted it up in no man's land. You can't do that. You can't do that in this league. You just can't just throw it up there like a go-get-it ball unless you throw it deep. And he didn't throw it deep. So, shame on him. Shame on him. Where's the interception stats? I don't see the interception stats. All right, let's just get into the stats first. Obviously, your Lions rolled to 4-1. Detroit's fourth win in a row. Obviously, we handed Cincinnati a loss tonight, even though they started to come back. A lot of you doubted me when I said that they were going to stay in this game early. They did. Lions were only up by 14. 14 is not enough points in the NFL. And when you're getting to the end of the first half and you're only up by 14 and it doesn't look like a whole lot of things are going right, few things are going right, but some things just weren't working out on both sides of the football, I was getting a little bit concerned. The way that Trey Hendrickson was able to get after Jared Goff there for a moment, and then Trey came out for a long time. I don't know if he came out for the rest of the game, but he was out for quite a while, it seemed like. So that might have been the opportunity that the Lions needed to seize. Obviously, this was David Montgomery's homecoming game. He's from the area, and he scored twice, man. One on the ground, one through the air. I called him on one tonight. I've been trying to pull this up. That's where I want to start. I want to start with what keys I did put out. Since I didn't get the article or the video out because I'm an idiot. I wanted to start there. Give me one sec. Oh, I can barely even read that. Okay, well, I put this up on YouTube 4 hours ago before the game. I said, well, I just realized the keys to the game was not uploaded fully, and 2 other pieces didn't drop. Obviously, we're rushing out to get to the wedding today, so I blew it. But here were my keys, man. Manu, he will need to step up today. Obviously, he has the size, the length, and the youth on his side. Not playing serious football for almost 2 years was my concern. I think that was a little bit evident tonight. Again, I'll defer to the film. Offense, I felt that they needed to slide to Hendrickson. Extra help, chips, even a swing tackle should be used heavily in this game. I'll defer to the film because I don't know how often they did. The Lions may opt to stay big and run the ground game with an emphasis on longer drives in the second half, expecting a pass game early for them to get a lead. Again, I'll have to defer to the film because I don't know what they did on every play. Lions leaders today. This is what I had. I said I thought that J-Mo was going to have a bigger game in the first half, slowing down in the second half as long as the Lions are up by 14-plus points. They were up by 14-plus points at the end of the second half, and into the third quarter, they scored again. I thought he was going to go for 90 and a TD, and that's not where he ended up. So we'll see where he ended up. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to eat the middle up. What did he do tonight, ladies and gentlemen? He ate the middle up. That is where Amon-Ra does his business, and I was expecting a strong performance. I thought that he was going to go for 110 and a TD. I don't know his final numbers. We'll get into that in just a second. Laporta, this was his breakout game. I saw it coming a mile away. This was going to be a breakout game for Sam Laporta tonight. Seam Route City is what I call it. He lives and eats and breathes there. When he gets rolling, man, those seam routes for Sam Laporta, they work all day. He's a chain mover, and I thought that he was going to be a chain mover today. I had him going 60-plus yards in a TD tonight. He scored the first TD of the night. I don't know where he finished, but we'll find out in just a second. Gibbs and Montgomery, man, I thought that Gibbs was going to have a good game, 70 yards in a TD, and I thought that Monty was going to throw a few in there, 60 yards in a TD. Again, we'll see where that boils down to. Defensive side, I thought that our interior pressure should be constant and consistent tonight. I think that Tyleek was going to find his way, or I thought that Tyleek was going to find his way to Browning early. I don't think that happened. But again, I got to look at the pressure and see. I know he didn't register a sack, but I have to figure out where the pressure came. Browning has not been moving in that pocket at all to this point. He's been stagnant back there. And I wanted to see where this was going to line up, for a big game with the pass rush tonight. And I thought that we were going to be able to get after him. 3 sacks today was my prediction. I did have 3 interceptions as well in my keys to the game. Bengals won't rush for more than 40 yards and under 200 yards total. Well, I think they were on pace for that until Chase caught that one for 64 yards. Be that as it may, I did say Chase was going to be a problem if you let him be. You can't, I don't care what's going on, with your team. I don't care who the quarterback is. When you have receivers like Chase and Higgins, they can give you problems. They can cause major fits for a defense. And I expected Browning to be able to find them tonight. I don't know what happened on this play. It looked like a pretty bad blown play tonight, but Browning found Chase for a 64-yard TD. So once I get in and dissect all of this, we'll give some more answers on it, or at least my take on it throughout the week. Let's take a look at some stats here for a moment. Where do these guys finish? All right. David Montgomery, 18 for 65. Man, that was almost spot on, huh? Almost spot on. What did I have him doing again? I had him going for 60 and a TD. He went for 65 and a TD, 1 through the air and 1 on the ground. I had Jahmyr Gibbs going for 54 in a TD. He did not get the TD tonight. Whoops. He did not get the TD tonight, and I had him going for 70. He came in a little bit light. Jamison Williams had a carry tonight. That was pretty pathetic when I watched that play. Jamison only had 1 target, 1 reception, 9 yards. What is going on here? What is the deal? Is he playing too much 2K? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. How about Brock Wright tonight, man? Finding the end zone again, 3 targets, 2 receptions tonight, and a TD by David Montgomery. Heck of a pass, nice play, loved it. Isaac Tesla, another catch, another 12 yards, and another TD, or a TD. I did not have him on the sheet tonight. Jahmyr Gibbs, 2 receptions, 33 yards in the pass game, 1 TD through the air. So he did get his TD, just didn't get one on the ground. Sam Laporta, 5 for 92. I'd say that's a pretty good breakout game. I'd say that's a pretty damn good breakout game. And the fact that I saw it coming a mile away in this game, little disappointed that Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't find the end zone. But again, spot on his performance tonight, that he was going to be, who he is and live, eat, and breathe and just kind of eat up the middle of the field. And he did that, man. 9 targets, 8 catches. Great game. 20 catches overall. Jared Goff was surgical. Let's go back to Jared Goff. 19 of 23 on the night. 258 yards, 11.2 average, 3 TDs, took 4 sacks. He took more sacks tonight than all games combined to this point. And that is not by mistake. You're not going to sit here and tell me that they're a better defense than what the Cleveland Browns are. There's no way that you're going to tell me that. Not having Taylor Decker is a huge problem. And that's what happened. 4 sacks because Taylor Decker wasn't in the game. But a 153 rating for Jared Goff again. Please tell me, somebody tell me. Look at that QBR, 73.6. My goodness. Somebody please tell me something. Is Jared Goff elite yet? Do you guys believe in him yet? Tell me. What am I missing here with Jared Goff? Why do guys like Dan Orlovsky still put this guy out of the top 10 even, let alone not even just outside the top 5? This guy is hanging stats like we've never seen before. There literally hasn't been anybody doing what he's doing. And for not 1 season, not 2 seasons, 3 in a row, Jared Goff has been hanging stats like this. Matter of fact, it's 3.5 seasons. This goes all the way back to the second half of 2022. Jared Goff, I swear to goodness, get this guy a Super Bowl, because that is the only thing keeping him out of the Hall of Fame right now, is a Super Bowl. He plays this well and hangs these crazy stats. He will not be a Hall of Famer without a Super Bowl, unfortunately. That's just part of the deal. You've got to win a Super Bowl. They got to do it. They have to do it. Absolutely have to do it. Goff is elite when you keep the pocket clean, says Zach. Okay, Zach, let me give you this real quick, which is a fact. It's truth. And you came to the right channel to get facts and truth. Jared Goff is one of the best quarterbacks in the league under pressure. That's not a lie. That is a straight up fact, my guy. Look at what he did against Cleveland Browns. No sacks, no interceptions, navigated the pocket, rolled out of the pocket, did everything that he needed to do to avoid sacks, to get the ball downfield, to win the game, and to live to the next down. That is what a great quarterback does in the NFL. An elite quarterback, not a good quarterback. Not a quarterback that folds under pressure. Not a quarterback that's not good enough unless the pocket is only clean. Jared Goff has had some pretty clean pockets throughout his tenure in Detroit, but he's had plenty of games where that pocket is muddy as all get out, right? So don't give me that. Like, if you're going to say that, let's back it up with some stats and some facts, because I could do it all day. All day. I could show you. I'm just not going to do it right now because that's not what it is tonight. But I'll make it one of the weekly conversations. Bet your butt I will. Tonight wasn't about Jared Goff in the sacks. And I'm going to say that without even watching the film. I'm going to say that Jared Goff probably was sacked under 2.5 seconds every time. And that would be an offensive line breakdown. I'm going to guarantee it right now. And so when we get into the film and we see how many times he had quick pressures on him and how many times he was sacked tonight under 2.5 seconds, we'll see if that reigns true, because Jared Goff knows how to navigate the pocket. Giovanni Manu, from what I saw in the few plays that I saw with him, he did not look good at all. Like he didn't look, he wasn't Taylor Decker, that's for sure. He has the size, he has the length, he has everything working for him. He has to get his footwork down. He has to get his timing down. He has to play at this level, right? Consistently for him to, to work it out. It might only take 2 or 3 games, and he could be playing at a much different level, right? But it wasn't today. It wasn't today. Today was his first opportunity into a game. I'm not going to hold it against him. We still won the game. But if this was next week or, later on in the season and we had to survive with Manu, I would be a little bit worried right now. I absolutely would be a little bit worried right now about Giovanni Manu being able to bridge that gap for Taylor Decker or anybody else. We'll see. We'll see how he did tomorrow when the stats come out and after I watch the film. Superintendent Chalmers says they were pretty quick sacks. There you go. So I only saw the one. I saw the Trey Hendrickson one, and that was real quick. He put Giovanni Manu on skates, like on skates with some Dove or Ivory soap underneath that. Dude was slipping and sliding everywhere, it looked like. He was on skates on soap. Skates on soap. He might be a road grader, right? He might be an elite road grader in the run game, but he might not be good in the pass pro just yet. It'll take him some time. All right, defensively. I'm going to talk about the one guy that I love the most. I love them all. But Jack. 11 tackles tonight, 3 solo, 1 TFL again. Guy is everywhere. I was a bit disappointed tonight when I saw it was pretty close to a 0 blitz. Nobody got home. And Jake Browning looked like Patrick Mahomes. He only went for about 10 yards. But that kind of stuff can't happen, right? We can't be going up against this offensive line and sending everybody, and nobody gets home. And on the play, guess what? I made sure to screenshot it so I'd have the timestamp tonight to go and review it. Aiden was singled up. Couldn't get free. Couldn't move. I'm not going to talk about this long tonight because I'm going to watch the film first. But my number one concern with Aiden has always been what? When he goes up against a tackle, doesn't even have to be an elite tackle, but a tackle with really long arms, he struggles every single time. And tonight you saw that. Both Amarius Mims and Orlando Brown pretty long athletes. Listen to this. Amarius Mims, 36 and an 1/8 inch arms. 36 and an 1/8 inch arms was measured at the combine. 3 foot of arm on both sides. 3 feet. That's incredible. I would have loved to have had him in Detroit. Would have loved it. How about Orlando Brown? Right? So you guys know me by now. A lot of you do, because I talk about this all the time about arm length. It's not just Aiden, it's just arm length. Arm length it's a real thing, man. And it matters in this league. If you don't have the arm length, you're going to struggle. If you're going up against guys that have the arm length and you don't, you're going to struggle. Orlando Brown, 35-inch arms. 35. What's Aiden? 32 and an 1/8. So you're talking 3 inches of arm length to 4 inches of arm length difference, plus hand size. That's a lot in this league. It's a ton, especially when you include then the wingspan, right? The rest of the wingspan. So Amarius Mims can stab with one arm, right? And you can keep Aiden, or you can get, put one side of your body a little bit forward, and you can kind of push Aiden away. He'll never be able to get to you. He'll be swimming. And that's why Aiden struggles. So if he doesn't come with a really good inside counter and use a really good, shed technique or swipe, spin move ain't going to cut it. You're not going to get around these guys. And that's why the pass rush doesn't work sometimes. And so tonight, what I kept seeing by everybody, whether it was Twitter or wherever else, our pass rush sucks. Oh, we needed someone opposite of Aiden. Guys, listen. Aiden is not like God's gift to green earth here. He's not the most elite defensive end to ever play the game. He has his faults too. And so stop blaming everybody but Aiden about the pass rush. Because these are two tackles that have extremely long arms, and both guys got manhandled tonight on the plays that I saw. I need to watch the rest of the film. But there's a reason why other players like Myles Garrett can get around these guys. Do you know why? Long arms. That's why. There's a reason why some of these guys can do things that others can't in this league. Arm length is a real thing. All right, I'm done with that. I'm done with it. Biggest post-game headlines tonight. What were they for you? Jared Goff? Surgical once again? I mean, damn near perfect. What was the biggest headline for you tonight? All right, what's his poll say? Giovanni Manu is serviceable. So that's what my fear was. That was my fear. It wasn't bad, according to you guys. That's only 45 votes. But he wasn't great. He wasn't okay. He was serviceable. So that would probably be in that D- to C+ range or D- to C- range. I said that wrong again. D+ to C- range. We'll see what the tape says. And how bad, how many pressures he gave up, how many sacks he ended up giving up. Because honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Yes, I like that statement by Superintendent Chalmers. He said, serviceable isn't serviceable when you're up against Dana and Karlaftis next week. Exactly. I mean, he was up against pretty stout Bengals front. I mean, we got to give them some credit over there. Slayton, Hendrickson. I mean, they played pretty well. Slayton especially played really well on the interior. Like, really well. I don't know about Osai. I didn't see many plays from him. I can't wait to watch the film tonight. I really can't. It's going to be fun. Derek Barnes, man, how about the safety to win the game? That is twice now in the last 3 seasons that Derek Barnes has made the end of the play game where, I mean, essentially he knocked him out of the game tonight. He gets the safety. Lions get the ball back. We don't do much with it, but we end the game, and we win. This game shouldn't have been 37-24. Should have never been that close. I think my prediction was, 35-17? I think that was my final prediction the other day. We have it written down somewhere. So, I mean, it was closer to what I thought it would be. I didn't think, that some of these plays that happened tonight were going to happen the way that they did. I did expect a big Chase touchdown, and it happened. I expected at least one, that was going to happen tonight. One of my biggest keys of the night, or one of my biggest headlines of the night, is Amik Robertson played a hell of a game. Kirby obviously played a hell of a game. And you know what? Terry and Arnold played a hell of a game too. I know that there was some chatter going on again about TA, and there was some ticky-tacky penalties again tonight. But any time that you limit Chase to 110 yards and one of those plays was 64 yards, that's a really good night. And I don't know that he was responsible for that touchdown. I know that Meek was really late to get there. And I know that Kirby was really late to get there. And if we were in single high safety, that's exactly what I said was going to happen. I said, if Kelvin puts us in single high safety in this game, Chase is going to get one. We just don't have the guys right now to do it. And it happened. I just don't know if we are in single high safety. There's another guy in here that I don't even know who he is. This Andrea Lozivas. Losevas, Andre Losevas, number 80. Didn't even know this guy existed. Put up 82 yards tonight. T. Higgins, he was held, 3 receptions, 22 yards, 1 TD on the night. That's not a great night at all. Chase Brown, seven receptions, no TDs, 2 TDs for Jamar Chase, 251 yards. I said that they were going to have 200 or less tonight. And Cincinnati ended up putting, what did they end up putting up overall? What was the overall yardage? Where is it? Where's the overall yardage? Oh, come on. Am I tripping? Where's the overall yardage? It just has passing, rushing. It doesn't add them both up. I seriously got to do math. So what do they have? 300, 320? 320 yards? Shouldn't have happened. I thought that they would have less than 40 yards rushing. This is the problem when Jake Browning goes for 31 yards. We didn't let any other quarterback like Lamar Jackson or anybody else go for that many yards. Why is Browning going for that many yards? Shouldn't happen. Sam Perrin went for 27. Chase Brown went for 27. That's what I expected. I did not expect Jake Browning to be able to look like Patrick Mahomes tonight. So there's some scheme issues here, right? What were we doing? Why were we doing it? And when you have a giant lead like that, let's slam the door shut. I don't think it's time to play. You know what I mean? I don't think it's time to play. But again, I'll have to defer to the tape. Held Cincy below 100. That's a win. What's not a win is 24 points scored. They shouldn't have had more than 7. I mean, 17 was being nice, right? I said 17. That was being nice. There's no way that I expected this team to put up 17 points. I really didn't. I just expected them to maybe get 14-ish and a field goal, maybe towards the end or something. But for them to put up 24 and to really start to take over that fourth quarter, I mean, scoring 21 points in the fourth quarter is just horrendous. Calvin Shepard knows this better than anybody else. When you play a game as good as the Lions were playing tonight, you can't let that happen. That is the difference of winning 37-3 right there. 37-3. Much better win, a win that you should have had. I don't know if we pulled any guys out. I know that we were getting down in the cornerback room, like we were missing a lot of guys tonight. Throughout the game, there were some injuries, and I mean, even the new guy got in. Even Flowers got in. Even Flowers got in. I want to bring in the post-game show. I didn't listen to that yet either. I didn't get a chance to hear it. One of my keys for tonight, or I'm sorry, one of my bigger plays tonight was Rock Ya-Sin. Huge play. I can't wait to break this one down. He got outside leverage, running down the field, down the seam. He got outside leverage, jumped and knocked that ball away. I think it was against Chase, but he played. That was perfect defense. I mean, it was perfect defense for a cornerback. One of my favorite plays that I was able to see tonight was that one. Yeah, there it is. Superintendent Chalmers said the same thing. Oh, it was against Higgins? Yeah, loved it. Loved the outside leverage that he took, too. Eric Myers, where did Flowers come from? Honestly, I don't remember. I did a video on him last week or something. I know he came from, I thought he came from someone's practice squad, if I'm not mistaken. My memory's for shit right now. Injury report tonight, obviously going into the game with Taylor Decker down, we knew that was going to be big, but Mekhi Wingo down, Chris Smith down, Kingsley down, Khalil Dorsey, Sione Vaki, Zach Cunningham. We got a lot of key guys out of this game tonight. DJ Reed, obviously, we know is going to be down for several more weeks. In game, Khalif Raymond, he left with a neck injury on a punt return, did not return that I saw. Can any of you confirm whether he returned or not? I did see the replay of that. Didn't look great. I did see him walk off, which did look good, but that play didn't look good at all. So I hope he doesn't have, any sort of a lingering neck issue. So he did not. Okay. Damn. Seattle. There we go. Thanks, Brent. That's where Flowers came from. Seattle. Can't lose Khalif, man. Can't lose Khalif right now. Even though I thought there was going to be a possibility that he wouldn't have made the roster this year because how deep we are getting. He's one of those glue guys. He really is. A couple of Detroit Lions PR stats of the day. 3 interceptions, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 safety. The first time the Detroit Lions in franchise history have produced a game with such stats. Again, 3 interceptions, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 safety. That's huge. How about Jared Goff, man? The Lions have set franchise records in points scored, 174, and TDs scored 22 through the first 5 games of the season. Yeah, Jared Goff is serviceable, right? Serviceable. That should just be a t-shirt with Jared Goff's face that just says serviceable. How about Amon-Ra St. Brown, man? He finally passed Brett Perriman tonight. 5,244 yards, the 4th most in receiving yards in franchise history by number 14. And how about Jared Goff again has now tied an NFL record by completing 70% of his passes in 6 straight road games. Yep. Just serviceable, though. Just serviceable. He's not elite whatsoever. Terrion Arnold injury update 2 hours ago. Shoulder was downgraded to out, so he did end up leaving the game with that same shoulder injury. That's not good. That's not good at all. Aiden Hutchinson has produced 1 sack in 4 straight games. Now, I thought that sack was removed. Didn't that sack get removed? Wasn't there a penalty on that play? Oh, no, it's back up there. Maybe it came later. Did he have 2 tonight and the first one got removed? He had 2 removed from penalties? Okay. Yeah, there's only 1 in the stat sheet. There's only 1 in the stat sheet. Lions only had 2 sacks all night, which again, this should have been a game that we were able to do some damage. And it is concerning. But you guys are just going to have to trust me on this one. We can argue about it all you want. But you're just going to have to trust me on this one. Aiden is going to produce when he has the opportunity to produce against guys that don't have long arms. The tape, look, I'm going to have to do a cut up of tape and just prove it to everybody. That is my number 1 concern about Aiden. And everyone seems to blame the other side. You know what I want? I just want for one moment for Calvin Shepard to say, okay, Aiden, just take this dude out to pasture and we'll let somebody else go eat on this play. We're going to slam a linebacker right behind you. That's what I want to see. It's exactly what the Browns do with Myles Garrett. They use him as a decoy so somebody else can go and eat. And in these games, when you're going up against some really big athletic tackles, I feel like that's the best play. But Calvin Shepard, I can tell already, he feels like he's just going to let Aiden win. He's going to let Aiden try to do his thing. I don't know. I guess I'd rather do it the other way. But then again, I don't know what the full scheme and assignment was tonight. And I think it's going to help that I watch the tape and to see where it went. Let me get Dan Campbell lined up in here. Yeah, my eyes are just burning right now. Nothing like an outdoor wedding in fall. Allergies. Allergies. All right. I want to listen to Dan Campbell. I did not get a chance to listen to him yet. Steve, Doctor of Football Thugonomics, says, take care, everyone. Interesting name. Love it. Yeah, so Vincent, there was no doubles in the plays that I'm talking about tonight. Tyleek had a batted pass tonight. Ape index. Love it, Jay-Z. I love that you use the ape index, man. Appreciate that. See, you pay attention, man. You pay attention. All right, what else am I missing in here? Brock Wright has been missing many blocking assignments and more drops and TDs if you actually look at his play. All right, so I'll look at Brock Wright too. I mean, I did see, again, in a couple of plays, a few that I saw tonight, there was a lot of missed assignments. A lot of missed blocking. To your point, I don't know who it was, though. Right? I don't know who it was just yet. I don't know whose assignment it was, but we'll dig into it. All right, let's listen to Dan Campbell, primarily because I want to. I haven't heard the post game yet. Oops. Would help if I unmuted the site.
Good. You know, I told the team, listen, man, I that's a good win. That's a good win. We'll take that. Yeah, and man, do we have things to clean up? Was it perfect? No, it wasn't. But man, we.
All right, so I'm going to stop right here because what I put in the chat tonight, I want to pause this just for a second because I put something in the chat. I'm hoping that I can find it. But in the Blue Zone chat, if you haven't become a member of the channel yet, it's only like $4 or $5 a month, whatever it is, $4 a month. And you get this Blue Zone chat, which I love how much people talk in here and how much chatter is in here during the games, after the games, before the games. It is a great place to be for Lions fans. It really is. So join it up, be part of it, man. Everybody would love to have you in there. But I want to find the message that I put in here. Oh, goodness. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Here it is. Okay, I said I'm a little worried that we sent the house and Browning looks like Mahomes. So I did put that in the chat. And then I said, and then Aiden can't get off single blocks on almost every play I have watched him, so far. I said, film is going to be full of things I don't like. I said, which sucks to be that picky. But if you want a Super Bowl, this is what Dan would do. Tell you good job getting the W and then say, but you did this and that and missed this and yada, yada, yada. Same thing that I do. I have to watch the film to see if the pass rush is scheme or a lack of scheme or lack of ability or what. And the reason why I'm saying that right now is because we just heard Dan say that same thing, kinda, right? Great win, take the win, but man, we got a lot of things to clean up. And that's because there is. Just because we get a win doesn't mean that we played perfectly. There's a lot going on in here. And the reason why I bring it up, which I think I bring up more than other people do, even though that this is, my channel is all about, or your channel is all about trying to be as positive as we can. That doesn't mean to be positive about every player, about every play, about every game. It's to have a positive outlook on the team. But that also means to be realistic, right? And to point out the things that the coaches are probably going to point out, hopefully, or, maybe what other people don't discuss. And the reason we do that, or I do that, is because when these things start to get cleaned up and it's week 9, week 10, week 12, and things really start to come together, This team is going to steamroll teams. And so we're going to go back and look at week 5 and say, you remember when we were talking about this? Now go and look. Look at where these guys are today. Had they not cleaned that up or put any emphasis on this, we'd still be getting beat this way. When we get into January, this stuff that happened in this game can't happen. The stuff that happened in the Ravens game can't happen. The stuff that happened against the Browns can't happen. All right? A lot of these things have to get cleaned up because they are just seconds, mere seconds away from doing something totally different on a play that creates an even bigger play, if you follow what I'm saying here. All right, let's listen to Dan.
We did what we needed to do, came in here, and I thought our guys were ready to compete. We fought, and once again, the best thing we did, we played complimentary football. And that's what great teams do, man. And we always find a way, man. I thought our defense came out hot. They set the tone for the game. Thought Shep, man, had an outstanding plan. Those guys were ready to go. What do we have, 3 takeaways? 3 takeaways, sudden change stops that we had. You know, we throw the pick on offense. They're able to shut them down. We get the safety, you know. And so I thought it was awesome. And then, you know, we end up, when we need help, the offense responds. We go all the way down the field, finish that out, and really just kind of open it back up again. So really proud of the guys, and, you know, it's a good win. And now we got Kansas City coming up. Look, I haven't seen everything. Obviously, I'll know more tomorrow, but – you know, I thought Alex was all over the field, came up big for us. You know, I thought Laporta was outstanding. St. Brown was outstanding. You know, Derek Barnes, 7 tackles, the safety, all over the field. There's just a number of guys that we'll get to, but I just know with my own eyes, you could feel it and you could see it. And quarterback played, man, very efficient football. It wasn't better than David Montgomery. You know, David had a perfect quarterback rating, but it was very close by a point. So.
Specifically, we really talk about Alex, Amik, Kirby, right? Defensive leaders, guys that when you need big plays, those are usually the guys that just how impactful were those, then turn those into 14 points and really ended up being the difference to the end.
Sure was. And that's what we talk about is you know, when you really start getting good at them, you start hunting for them. Our guys are hunting for them. They become contagious. And this is the first time since I've been here that I feel like we're getting them in bunches early in the year. Normally it comes a little later. So, man, I feel like there's blood in the water, man. Our guys are starting to feel it, man. They want to be the next guy who gets the punch out or the strip or the interception, and we're hunting. If the ball's in the air, we're going after it, and that's a tenacious defense. You know, that's what they do, and that's what we're.
Did he just say tenacious D? Come on, Dan.
What we're about right now. So. Thought Shep did a great job. Players, man, responded and showed up, and I thought we were aggressive. Thought we hit hard. I thought we hustled. I thought we played pretty smart football for damn near most of that game. You know, there was a couple we gave up, but it's really good, man. Defense really showed up.
What do you attribute the defense?
I'll come back to you.
You know, it's been a couple games now where they haven't been getting the takeaways and the sacks and everything. So what do you attribute that to? I mean, is something you thought different? Is it just because these guys have vaccinated before?
Yeah, no, listen, it's, you know, as always, we make an emphasis in practice. You know, we've got our every day we do some type of takeaway circuit, just like we do ball security on offense. We start every day right out of warm-up, and we go into those. You know, we coach them, we teach them. We try to highlight it. We try not to we don't want it to be lip service. You know, there's a conscious effort to work at it. And then, man, we showcase these things, man. We show the team. You know, it's important to us, and you know, we show it in the defensive meetings as well. And so I think there's a pride about it, and I do think we got football guys. You know, I think we have ball guys. You know, BB and Branch and Alex and Jack, man, they're hunting for them. And
Jack!
When you make a conscious effort to go after them, or if the ball's in the air, that's my ball. I'm going to go get it, then, you know, good things happen. You know, they start coming out. So we're in a good place right now, and we're getting them, and we'll take them. We just got to keep working at it.
Coach, I know you guys are already nationally motivated, but when you get to share an experience like this with David Montgomery, that you come home, play in front of his family, how was that? What was the week like going into this week, especially after coming off last week's performance from him as well?
Yeah, you know, we wanted to get David going. You know, I wish we could have gotten it a little bit more. That's just kind of how the day went. But I wanted to get him going. We wanted to get him going. because I knew this would be something special for him, and see if we can get him some more work than we did last week, you know. And look, that was a product of the week too. I mean, that was a product of how that game kind of went. It's we didn't want it to be that way. We want to get all our guys touches, man. We want to get St. Brown going. We want to get Ja going, and JMO and him and Laporta, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. And so it was good to get him a piece of that production to help us. That was good. You know, he got one throwing, he got one running. I thought he started to break it open in the second half, which was awesome. You know, started wearing down on that defense a little bit, and so that was good in that regard, man. I know that's special for him.
When we talk about heartbeat guys, just where's Montgomery on that, and what does he mean?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Just on heartbeat guys like Raymond last week and Montgomery this week, just what does he mean?
Everybody respects David Montgomery, and I think everybody roots for that guy, because that guy will do anything for his teammates. Like, he lays it on the line on Sundays. He lays it on the line in practice. Like, you know what you're going to get out of David Montgomery. It's no different Saint. You know what you're going to get every Sunday out of St. Brown. You know, but David is that guy. Heartbeat, like Leaf, yes. So he's going to do whatever it takes. He'll stick his face up there in protection. He'll run the dirty runs. He'll run downfield to make a block for a teammate in the pass game. He's all fucking team. Excuse my language. But so love the guy. We're fortunate to have him, and he's a stud.
Oh, I love it, Dan. No F-bombs unless it's Dan Campbell.
His contributions, I guess, beyond the 1 catches.
Yeah, big time. You know, and really the special teams aspect, we were going to need him to help us out. And, you know, now that Dorse was down. And he did, man, huge plays. And then that, you know, the crosser there for the touchdown, that was big, man. You know, use his size, his length, and snag that ball away for a touchdown. You know, just thought he did some things. And then when we lost Leaf, you know, now he's got to go in and play. And there'll be some things that he hasn't repped. He may have walked through them, got the mental reps, but you didn't get the physical reps because those were Leafs. And now, you know, Scotty did a great job of moving those guys around a little bit. Okay, listen now, Tesla, you got to go here. You go to the Z. We need Saint. You sit at the F. JMO, you got to go X. This one. Now you go to the Z. He goes there. So just thought they did a great job. But he stepped up for us.
What went into the Decker?
Last week, John, Mike, and Sean.
How concerned are you going forward? Are you expecting that?
Man, it just, you know, every week the recovery has not, it's been less and less. He has not been able to quite catch up to, we feel like there's diminishing returns every week. Man, it's just a little, you know, and we just felt like, man, we need to give this guy a little time, you know, and I don't know how long, but this is so we get him back. That's what this is, man. Let's get this thing to calm down. Let's get some strength back in the shoulder to where he feels good. And so all of this is for a positive. We just felt like, man, coming down the wire yesterday, today, man, we need to back off of this and let's be smart with it. And so in that regard, I feel good. Man, up and down, you know, up and down. I thought that he did some good things in the run game. I thought there were some play passes he did a good job. And then there were some that, man, they weren't good. And he'll learn from. He's got to learn from them. And that's what you look forward to, man. You don't want to have a couple of plays where your quarterback gets hit, but at the same token, that's probably the best way to learn too, because you don't want that to happen again. And it's like, man, what do I need to hone up? What can I do better? How do I handle this? But it's, you know, look, that's his first real taste of real football, NFL, true, you know, not preseason. It's real. So you grow from it. You know, it's a good experience.
Mike and Sean, last two.
With the way that Manu played, you just touched on it, and answering John's question on Decker, is there any thought that maybe Manu could start against Kansas City, just give Decker a little bit more time to rest?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You know, we're going to look at everything here. You know, certainly Skip's back, you know, so we'll look at Skip. We brought Devin Cochran today. He's a candidate. And then we'll see where Decker's at, obviously. That's always going to be our first choice, is to see where Decker is. But I don't want to put Decker out there if it means that we get a couple of games and we don't have him for the rest of the year. It makes no sense. So we'll play this smart. We'll do what's right, and then next man up. If it's not him, it's next man up. Whether that is Manu again, we'll see, or is it one of those other two guys I just mentioned?
Last one.
Yeah, and you talk about things to clean up, and I know that's usually every week, but do you feel like in some ways this team is kind of just scratching the surface?
Yeah, I feel like we have a ton of growth left. I do. I think where you get encouraged, I know for me, you know, I said this going into, here we go, man, 2 weeks in a row. And we got 2 wins out of that, right? Is, you know, you can get frustrated at times about some of the ebbs and flows of the game, and we play so good, and then there's these stretches where it's, but ultimately what I feel good about is what I already mentioned, and that's the complementary football. Man, when we need it most, our defense steps up. When we need it most, our offense steps up. When we need it most, special team steps up. Those are signs of great teams, man, to me. And so we've got that part. That's the hard part. We got that. The other stuff, we can clean that up. And I think in that regard, yes, I think we still have so much growth left collectively that's the exciting thing. So, yes, we do.
You guys left Jared in next.
Do you have an update on Ravens?
Yeah, Leaf, I'll know more. I don't think, I can't tell you what it's going to be next week, but this does not feel like some serious, you know, that doesn't mean he'll play next week, but it's good news in other words, you know. I mean, as a matter of fact, he told me that didn't feel too good, but I'm good. So that's what he said.
All right, love it. Absolutely love it. But hey, man, that's your fearless leader, Dan Campbell. Post-game press conference today, good and bad, just like every game. He tells us straight up, ladies and gentlemen, we're just scratching the surface. You just heard it. And it's the same thing that I feel sitting here. Even though I didn't get to watch the whole game, the bits and pieces that I saw some great stuff. I saw some really bad stuff. Then there's always the stuff in the middle. And quite honestly, it's always the stuff in the middle that I think you need to worry about. And it's because the stuff in the middle is what usually sticks. It's the hardest stuff to get out. The stuff that's on the surface, you know, the things that are happening, you know, in flashes, those poor moments, you know, the missed assignment, the lack of a switch, you know, those types of things you can absolutely work on. And it's usually just a communication thing, which can be fixed almost immediately, right? But it's that stuff that just hovers, man. It's below the surface. It's not quite to the bottom yet, but it's right there, and it's just icky, right? Like when you step in a lake bottom, right? You get to the top layer and it feels fine, but then if you go a little bit deeper, it gets really cold and really icky. That's the stuff that the Lions really need to clean up. And when they do that, this team's going straight to the moon, man. And I feel like we are just getting there. What I really loved what he said in the very beginning of this press conference, talking about the takeaways last year and honestly the last couple of seasons. Man, there was a couple of seasons in a row where we were like, man, when are we going to start getting some interceptions? When are we going to start getting some fumbles? Like takeaways, non-existent. Like giving away, 8, 9, throughout the season, but we're not getting any back. Or, we get one here or there, and maybe it's at the end of a game or something, and, you're already up by 15 or whatever the score is, but we're not getting them in the beginning. Totally different this year. We're getting them in the beginning. We're getting them in the beginning of the season. Kirby's like, what's he on pace for right now? It's got to be some crazy pace. Better pace than last year. I'll say that. Way better pace than last year. What else did he say? That about Manu, right? That there was some good stuff. Not so good stuff, right? And not sure if Decker can't go, then is it going to be Manu? He's probably already considering the fact that it's not going to be Manu. There was some things in this game that maybe were just too much to fix that quickly. And you can't leave Goff out to dry. You just can't. If you allow Goff to take too many hits, one of these days he's not going to get up. And we definitely aren't going to win a season with Goff on the ground or out of the game. Not going to happen. Good news on Khalif. It's kind of funny the way that he said it. I'm sure he didn't mean it that way, but how Khalif said, yeah, that didn't feel real good, but I'm good. So that's good news. I'm glad that Khalif is good because, man, that was a wicked hit. He was kind of fumbling forward, he was kind of falling forward, and he fell right into the guy making the tackle there, and it was kind of a wicked hit. Kind of a wicked hit. Yeah, so Skipper, I'm glad that he said Skipper is back because I just said that in the video that I did or one of the videos that I did on Decker, as I see, where the hell is Skip? Like, what's going on with this dude? Where's he been? He gets cut, he gets put on the practice squad, and then he disappears. Just totally disappears. So I'm not real sure, what has happened, what this lingering issue was, or, the things that he's been dealing with, whether it was personal or not personal. But it's good to have him around and to see if he'll be able to get up, before Kansas City and give this team a hand. I felt that he was a little bit rigid in camp. Matter of fact, I thought he was real rigid. He did not look like the same Skipper that we're used to. But I'm nobody's judge, right? Dan and that squad knows exactly who Skipper is and if when he gets up, if he's going to be able to help this team. So he's always been rock steady. He's a fan favorite for a reason, but he's always been rock steady in there. Whenever he gets called to action, he usually plays a pretty good game. I definitely can't wait to get into the tape tonight and kind of figure out what happened, where it happened, and what needs to be fixed. And hopefully we'll be talking about that tomorrow morning as long as we get the rest of the stats. Let's see here. Skip had a bad ankle. Yeah, I didn't hear much about the ankle. Yeah, Steve, clearly you don't know football. Just looking at your statement right now, the Rams, the same team Stafford won a Super Bowl with and Goff didn't. No, actually it wasn't the same team. Wasn't even close to the same team, buddy. Not even close to the same team. But I could care less about the Rams, so I'm not even going there. You must not be a Lions fan because clearly you might be the only person out there that doesn't think that Goff is elite. Let's see here. Let's catch up our stats for a moment. Curious where the guys are. Team stats. There we go. I don't know why I didn't see this earlier. The Bengals put up 322. Way more than they should have. Way more than they should have. Lions 365 on the night. 12 total drives. 247 passing. 20-24 for Jared Goff. Hell of a night. 8.8 yards per pass. That's probably top of the league right now. The 4 sacks is a problem. Can't have that. Can't have that at all. 33 rushing attempts tonight. Exactly what I thought the Lions were going to do is ground and pound. And Dan Campbell said that too in his postgame, that they were going to try to get David Montgomery going tonight, that the goal was to utilize the ground game tonight. And everything that I did up, and through my keys of the game, which I never released. So, I mean, if I put something out there, it's there. I don't BS about it. That's why I had to hurry up and put something on YouTube, just so people could refer back to it. I felt the run game happening tonight. This was a game it should have happened. And I felt Sam Laporta doing his thing, and I knew Amon-Ra was going to do his thing. Those 3 things really did happen. Just not as much David Montgomery as we were hoping tonight. Turnovers, Lions gave up 1, which I did not see that. So what was the turnover? What was the turnover? Let me go back and look. Was it a fumble? Yeah, it was a fumble. Yeah, it was early in the game. Who fumbled? Oh, that was a sack strip fumble. I knew that. Trey Hendrickson. Yeah, Manu on skates. That can't happen. Can't happen. Phone line's open. If you guys want to call, feel free. I'll leave it open for a few more minutes. I'm not going to stay on extremely late tonight, but if there's anything that you want to talk about, players of the game for you guys, I would like to know who is your player of the game tonight, offense and defense. Let me know in the chat below, obviously in the comments later. Don't forget to leave a comment after the show is done. That is how you will get entered to win the 2 tickets to a Detroit Lions game. Once we get past 10K, we're going to do the drawing. Also, don't forget to check out buymeacoffee.com/rocked on if you would like to get in to the annual or yearly or season-long raffles. There's jerseys up. We're going to be adding some more things this week. Actually, 3 or 4 things this week. So if you'd like to participate in that, that's where you can find that. DetroitFootballJournal.com is down right now. You can still go to the Substack side, but the actual site is having some issues through the carrier. They're trying to get it fixed. All right, we got a caller. All right, Rock Down Detroit Lions. Who do I have on the line tonight?
Jason Kenyon out in Oklahoma.
Mr. Oklahoma, what's happening? How are you?
Oh, not much. Just thought I'd give a call in since it doesn't seem like anybody else is.
Yeah, we're kind of lonely over here, man. We don't get a lot of calls anymore. But that's all right.
I'm a little. I wasn't too happy about the sacks on golf, but I'm not worried because it's Manu and Decker will be back out, and that won't happen again. But I did like a lot of what I saw on the turnovers and everything. It's just the defense got to us because they were putting Hendrickson right over top of Manu and just taking advantage of it and keeping it.
Yeah, so I didn't
closer than it should have.
I didn't watch every play because I was at a wedding. So my question to you would be, how many times did it look like Manu got beat clean, even though Hendrickson may not have got a boatload of sacks tonight? But was the blind side of Jared Goff, was it collapsing quite a bit?
It collapsed more than it should have because Hendrickson got close too many times. More than those sacks that he got. And the one sack wasn't even on Manu. It was either Wright or Laporta that gave up that sack.
The strip sack?
No, that was on Manu getting beat at the beginning of the game. Mm-hmm. But one of the 4 sacks wasn't on Manu.
I gotcha.
It was a missed block on by either Laporta or Wright on where they were the ones that were supposed to do a chip on Hendrickson, and he just beat them.
Yeah,
outright.
You know, I have noticed that too.
Manu improved throughout the game. He got better as he got deeper into the game, but still it was because his name wasn't mentioned as much later in the game, but he still got beat pretty bad at the beginning of the game.
Didn't Hendrickson go out of the game for a little bit there? I saw him on the sideline. I kept peering at my phone every so often, and I saw him on the sideline for a little while. So is that maybe why his name wasn't being announced as much? Or
no, not. I don't really know too awful much because I was having to watch a watch party, and they had TVs in the background where I could actually see the game happening and hear the play-by-play because they were playing the Chargers game down here in Oklahoma.
Gotcha.
But the play-by-play and hearing everything and what I was noticing from what I could see in the background on the TVs in the background, it wasn't so much that Hendrickson was out of the game, even though it did help a lot, but they just weren't helping. They weren't putting in. I would have to say that I don't think they were trying to double team Hendrickson too much, putting a tight end in Manu on Hendrickson or anything like that too awful much.
But that's a big mistake.
I think it was just kind of let's see what. I think it was a let's see what Manu can do because we know we're going to win the game kind of deal.
Man, I can't wait to watch the tape. That's a big mistake, man. That puts your quarterback at risk too. I hope that they don't do that kind of crap again because the like I said, the plays that I saw, man, he was beat so clean, and I did see Brock Wright get beat too. There was a play the Laporta got beat. They've been terrible this year at times, not all the time, but at times just whiffing on edge defenders. In the Browns game, there was one that Laporta was not supposed to be lined up across from Myles Garrett, and he was. That's just not where you want your tight ends.
Right.
They're not designed. Those guys are not designed. They don't train enough, like an offensive lineman to take on those guys. And yeah, interesting stuff. I can't wait to watch the tape. Who's your player of the game tonight?
Oh gosh. Out of sentimental reasons, I'd give it to Demo. He did have that pass throw touchdown and a running touchdown.
Sure.
With his sister being there. And that'd be offensively. Defensively, I'd give it to Kirby. It'd kind of be a tie between Kirby and TA before TA went out.
Do you think the TA was playing that well?
He was playing pretty good until he got pulled out from his injury.
Huh.
He got burnt once, and and then after that he had a couple of missed interceptions. He broke up a few passes, and he didn't get beat after that. And then the one interception that he really could have had, Kirby took from him.
Yeah, I saw that.
Kirby jumped that one over every.
Man. Well, thank you so much for your call.
And
Don't be a stranger. Call anytime we do a show. Feel free to call in anytime. Any last words for you tonight?
The one thing that hurt the most, I think, on our score not being as high as it was, and theirs being as high as it ended up being, or our score not being as high as it should have been, is the penalties, especially the two hutch stacks that got called back on penalties. Hurt a bit, and it also kind of hurt Hutch not having 3 sacks instead of just the one official sack. And they could have had 2 safeties instead of just the 1 safety. So that did hurt a little bit. The penalties hurt.
Let me ask you a quick question on that, because I don't know what the penalties were, but if it was any sort of a holding on, defensive backs downfield, that is often why your defensive ends can get to the quarterback if they're holding downfield and there's nobody open. Do you know what the do you remember what the penalties were? Okay.
One of them was definitely called on TA. I'm not sure if TA was the reason for the other one or who got it, but I remember for sure that TA, the hutch stack in for the safety that got called back was on TA, and after that TA's name didn't get mentioned unless he was breaking stuff up.
Okay. All right. Well, that really makes me excited to watch the tape, because I want to see Arnold play a lot better. He's been catching holy hell from the fans. It was Joe, right, from Oklahoma?
Yeah. Jason Kenyon.
I totally butchered it. Jason Kenyon from Oklahoma. Thank you so much for calling tonight, man.
I grew up in northern Michigan, so.
Oh, perfect.
All my life until I moved down here because of rodeo, so.
Well, you go out there and I don't even know what to say about the rodeo. I don't know nothing about it. I was going to try to come out.
I've been retired since 2014.
I was going to come with something snappy, but then I realized, man, I don't know a damn thing about the rodeo. I was going to say go rope a bull or something, but we'll catch you next time.
No,
we'll catch you next time.
I've been retired since 2014 from rodeoing, and probably my most favorite rodeo that I ever, one of my most favorite rodeos that I've been to is Championship Rodeo back when they were held at the Palace. I got to go to the Palace and compete about 4 or 5 times.
Good stuff, man. Well, hey, we'll catch you next time. Appreciate you calling in, Jason. Take care.
Yep. Thanks for taking the call.
Yeah, anytime, man. All right. Bye-bye. Jason from Oklahoma said that Terry and Arnold was roping them penalties tonight like he ropes them bulls. I was supposed to be a funny. I don't even have any sound bites to go with it. I got nothing lined up. I got nothing. All right, so I'd love to know what you guys think about Terry and Arnold then tonight. Because I saw some things in the chat where there's some people that were not happy. They were not happy about TA's play tonight. So was he not playing well or was he playing well? Right? According to Jason, he was playing pretty well. I think the TA is going to end up with a holding or a PI in every game. I think for some reason, like the refs hate him. And again, I didn't watch all the tape, or the game tonight, so I have no idea, what really happened. But man, I did see the one where he almost came down with that interception, but he was going out of bounds, and I think he dropped the ball. That was beautiful work, where he positioned his body, gained the inside leverage there, going out of bounds, was able to box out, get up. He went up with two hands, and then he, obviously went out of bounds and couldn't hold the ball, but I don't think he would have been inbounds anyway, had he even held on to the ball. So when I saw that, I thought that he was playing pretty well. I didn't see every play, though. And I don't know all of the penalties on the Hutch sack, so that'll be interesting. I'll dive into that tonight. I'll rewatch those. Talk about that tomorrow. The only reason why is because, and I said this to Megan on the way home, and I don't want this to go across the wrong way, because people think, again, that I hate on Hutch. It's not about hate on Hutch. It's just I like to set the record straight. And to me, the record would read like this. Hutch is going to get a lot of attention by the media. He's going to get a lot of attention by the announcers. He's going to get a lot of attention by the NFL. There's a few reasons why, but the most important reason is money. The NFL has a job to do, and that is to create wealth. How do they do that? Well, you need players to play well. You need players to be glorified. You need players to put butts in seats. You need players to sell jerseys. And even though Aiden Hutchinson is an extremely good football player, I think he gets over-glorified too much. Like, okay, would have had 3 sacks tonight, but there was a penalty. Well, there you go. He didn't have 3 sacks tonight. He didn't have 2 sacks tonight. He had 1 sack tonight, and that's because the other 2, he probably wouldn't have got there had there not been a penalty. You see the difference with that? But online and in the media, what you're going to see printed tomorrow or even tonight, and what you're going to hear on the radio shows and across all of the national networks tomorrow is Aiden had 3 sacks last night, but 2 got taken away because of penalties, and he's elite. That's what you're going to hear. You're not going to hear the real side of it, which is what if there wasn't a penalty on that play? What if, and I'm just guessing here, what if there wasn't holding on a play? What if there wasn't pass interference on that play? Would the ball have been out? Would the ball have been downfield? Would it have still been a hurry? Sure. Would it have been a pressure? Probably. But would it have been even close to a sack? Maybe not. Maybe not. And I know oftentimes Hutch doesn't even get a lot of penalties called for him, and that really pisses me off. Hutch gets held so much, it's not even funny. But if you actually look at the rule for offensive linemen and where they're able to latch onto you, right? They can latch on in between, I think it's just in between the shoulders, right? They can latch on, but they can't pull, right? They can't steer, they can't pull. Yeah, they get away with a lot more than that. Arms hanging over one side and they're going around the end. Happens all the time. Hands to the face all the time. Doesn't get called. So it goes both ways. It does. But it shouldn't always be one-sided on the penalties. They need to start calling some stuff against these offensive linemen, because I believe that Hutch would be doing a lot more damage had he not been held often. But you see the same thing for Garrett. You see the same thing for Hendrickson. You see the same thing for all these guys. They all get held and nobody gets the calls. So I guess it's, I don't know, it's to each their own, but every single one of these guys is battling the same thing. Some just produce more than others. Some just produce more than others. Dale Lynn just put something in the chat. He said, the first sack from Hutch was a penalty offside from Hutch. The second sack with the safety was a TA hold penalty. So there you go. Hutch was actually offside on one of his own sacks. Is that what you're saying? And then in the second one on the safety, Terry and Arnold had a hold penalty. See, I didn't know that. And holding, I mean, if you're holding a receiver downfield and the quarterback can't get the ball out, of course you're going to have more time to get to the QB. They only have two options, man. Well, three. Throw it away. That's 1 and 2. Or run. That's it. That's all you get. Because I doubt you're going to be able to hand the ball off at that point. Beast 9 says it's like the refs use TA to get the other team back in the game. You know what they do, though? Here's what they do, though. They tried to close the gap tonight on the Vegas odds. That's what they tried to do. Wasn't it a 10.5 point underdog for Bengals tonight? They tried to close that gap. All right, so Marina saying the penalty on TA had no effect. If there's a penalty period, it has an effect. If there's a penalty period, then the play doesn't happen. Like that's what we're saying. It doesn't matter if the receiver was doing something after or before. If there's a penalty anywhere during the play, it has an effect. But we'll see. I'll watch the tape. I'll dial it up. I have to see it for myself. Dale Lynn says TA held him at the line and was playing physical. And also, it was the receiver initiating the hold of TA. So did TA get him 5 yards down the line? Like, was he beyond 5 yards? Okay. I just got to watch the play. When was it? You know what? Just tell me when it was. I'm going to dial it up right now. Let me go to NFL Pro real quick. I'm just going to watch it right now. Quit talking about it. I'm just going to be about it. How about that? Let's go right to the game. I got 3 more minutes anyway. I want to get off by 10. This week, I will be visiting a Chiefs podcast. It's probably, I think it's Tuesday night. They just reached out to me, I believe it was yesterday. So I should have all the information hopefully by tomorrow. And I'll be doing a crossover with them. So come join. I'll put all the information out there so you guys can come and join us and listen on their side. All right. Oh, come on, man. All right, let's watch the game back here. Anybody know where it was? First half. No, Maureen, it does matter if the receiver was shoving his head back. No, it does matter there. Yes. However, if there is a penalty, period, if there's any holding or anything prior to that, and the flag is thrown, it doesn't matter what happens after that. But if there's a penalty during the play, and that does add more time that the quarterback has to hold the football, that's what I'm referring to. Then it would allow your ends to get home more often. Happens all the time. Just like how, why is this not letting me play the game? Maybe it's not ready yet. Oh, that's usually not the case. All right, I guess I'm not going to watch the play right now. Why is it not letting me watch the game back? Here we go. All right, so I got it on NFL Plus, but I'm not going to be able to go in and drill it down like I was hoping to. So I'm not going to be able to go in and put penalty and, shoot. This can't be right. If it's there, it's got to be here. You got to be kidding me. Detroit, Cincy. No results. Well, I guess it's not ready, and I'm not going to try and swipe through 60 minutes worth of film to find it. So, all right, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I have no idea if Eric's going to be on. I didn't even know if he was going to be at the game today. So I have no idea what his plan is, but I highly doubt he's going to be back home tonight. So I'll probably be solo tomorrow. But anyway, we'll see you guys in the morning. We'll break down some more stuff. I'll have a lot more things to talk about. Good win for your Detroit Lions tonight. Look, if we can win when we play bad, that's great, right? Tonight we didn't play bad. We played great in areas, and there's a lot of areas the Lions have yet to clean up. And just like I said about the Packers, right? When they jumped off to a quick out of the gates and won a couple of games and were looking pretty good, then they slowed down, right? I haven't even looked at all the rest of the scores yet. I don't think the Packers and the Bears are playing this weekend, but they jumped out real quick and then they slowed right down. The Lions are playing good. They're not even playing to their best. And that's what we need right now, is the fact that we're on this trajectory that Dan Campbell always talks about. And when we get towards the end of the season, this team should be flying high, right? This team should be playing extremely well, no mistakes, get all this little stuff cleaned up, and let's just go put the stomping down, on some of these guys, on some of these teams. We're going to need it, right? We're going to need it. And I'm excited about the fact that there is stuff to clean up, because if there wasn't, then I would be more concerned at how they're playing. My game ball tonight would have to go to Kirby Joseph on defense. But without watching the film, it's hard not to give it to Amik Robertson. And the reason why is this dude steps up and gets an amazing interception in the beginning of the game, takes on another major assignment in this game, and played extremely well. I mean, I don't care if it was Higgins or Chase, whoever he was lined up on, neither one of those guys was doing anything in this game outside of that one broken play. Look, if they go for 50, 60 yards in a game, great. Nothing wrong with that. The one broken play is not going to define this team. So when you go back and look at how those receivers performed, Amik Robertson played a hell of a game. He really did. Now, there's going to be some things that I don't like, but he got a pick, He played extremely good defense. He read things very well. He was getting up in the box, making plays against the run, the quick outs, the hitch passes. I mean, he was all over it. He was all over it. So I'm excited to see where this goes for him again this year. Amik is a huge part of this team, and so my game ball defensively is going to go to him. Offensively, look, Jared Goff, man, you just can't tell me that there's a better quarterback right now in the NFC. Clearly, there's not. I don't care about Jalen Hurts at all. I really don't. He is not doing the things that Jared Goff is doing. Sam Laporta is right there because I expected Sam to have a breakout game tonight, and he did. I could easily just give it to Sam Laporta too. So it's kind of a tie between those two for me. It's hard to pick one. It's really hard to pick one. But Jared Goff was laser sharp again tonight. He made some extremely good throws out of the ones that I saw. And in the one that St. Brown dropped over the right hash, it was about a 15 to 17 yarder. He was triple teamed. And Goff fit that ball into like a 6-inch diameter target. Crazy accuracy. Unfortunately, again, I got to watch the film, but it looked like St. Brown had the ball knocked out of his hands. I don't think he cleanly dropped it. I think it was knocked out. But that is a hell of a throw. So I'm going to lean towards Jared for tonight. Sam, still love you, man. Hell of a game. You'll have another one. Great game all the way around by these Detroit Lions. Another win. Lions going to 4-1. And we'll be flipping the field on Wednesday to the Chiefs. So between now and Tuesday, we're going to finish out this game, talk about your Detroit Lions and what's up next. We'll find out tomorrow morning on the Rise and Grind Morning Show. We'll see you guys.
It's game time, Detroit, and you found the right place for the latest Detroit Lions news. So hop on in and take the ride to Super Bowl 60 with Rocked On Detroit Lions. Join Will Rock, Eric Rintamaki, and Riley O'Brien today on the Rise and Grind Morning Show. Good morning.